You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Panic Room. Yes, round 18 here on Insight. I am the horse. Joining me is an absolute legend of a bloke. His name's Deadly. How are you?
I'm good, mate, but less on me, more on our special guest, please.
Oh, 100%. I wanted to give you a little bit of time in the sun, but ladies and gentlemen, we have the legend himself who has made his way all the way across to Insight. It is none other than the man himself, the SCODFATHER. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on today. And I'm very scared today. I'm not normally a very scared person, but today I'm scared because it says Panic Room. I don't want to panic right. I can't cover down. So we'll see what's going to happen today. We're going to panic or not. Actually, I haven't looked at the teams yet, so I'm going to actually look at them live for the first time with you together. So you'll actually get my reaction at once. I might actually make this larger. All right.
There is quite a few changes, my good man. So what we do each week is we go through each team and how it affects the people's SuperCoach teams at home. So if you haven't already yet, please hit like, subscribe, and the bell. We call it being the triple banger. But also, if you're listening to us on audio, give us that 5-star review. It helps us get out into the ears of the like-minded, banter-minded, SuperCoach-minded people. So without further ado, our show tonight is going to be brought to you by The Standard Squeeze, who are helping you drink responsibly and conveniently. Use the promo code IFS2025 to get yourself 15% off everything in store. Let's kick it off. Deadly, can you please show the great man how this works and operates tonight?
Oh, well, it's very standard. So we just go through the changes. So if you want to scroll back up to the changes for tonight's game in Carlton versus Brisbane, Corey Durden and Alex Cincotta come in for the omitted Francis Evans and Blake Acres, and Oscar McInerney makes his long-awaited return for Sam Day. How do we expect this one to go straight away, Horse?
Well, Vossi came out in the media, Abs, and said Tom De Koning was going to play forward, and they've got him in the ruck. What's the go with that?
I think they're trying to trick somebody. Okay, it's a con job. But we're asking, where is he? Pittinet's on the bench.
He is.
So yeah, once Pittinet comes on, he can't play anywhere else. So I believe him. I think De Koning is going to play forward. Who's missing in that forward line? Let's have a look. Forward.
There's Ben Mackay is still not back. Their forward line consists of Mitch McGovern so far, Charlie Curnow, Lockie Fogarty, Orazio Fantasia, Essendon legend, Ashton Moore, and Jesse Motlop.
Yeah, he's going to play. He's going to play forward.
If you refresh your screen, Horse, the subs have just been announced. Cooper Lord and Darcy Gardner are the subs, and Pitnet's named full forward to start.
So there goes my multi, because I just put a multi on Cooper Lord to have 10 touches. So I got a better change that pretty quick then.
There we go. Cooper Lord and Darcy Gardner are subs. That's unreal. Abs, you follow Carlton a little bit. You're not a Carlton man. You're a Richmond supporter, but there's worse out there than Cooper Lord. He seems to do okay when he gets a crack.
That's why I put him on my multi. He's been getting 15, 16 touches a game. He's actually decent. So I'm actually shocked that he's a sub. If anyone, I would have subbed what's his name? That winger they got there, but he's been playing forward a bit lately. He used to play forward. He was playing on the wing. If you scroll down,
Orazio.
No, not him. There's the one from GWS. There's Zach Williams. I would have subbed him off.
Yeah. Well, they've got Zach Williams starting on the pill, if this is anything to go by, on Lockie Neal. And if that's anything to go by, and I don't think that's going to be the case, but Lockie Neal will have 50 touches if he's got Zach Williams chasing him around all night.
I think they brought in someone for him today.
Cincotta.
I think Cincotta's going to tag in defense. He's going to tag the magnificent one. Okay, so Zorko the Magnificent might get tagged today from Cincotta, or we're going to have Lockie Neal get tagged. Maybe McCluggage even.
Yeah, McCluggage is a good shout. He's been, he is number one in the AFL for 120 plus scores this year. So it's probably someone that Carlton need to invest some time into. But then it's the nature of the beast, isn't it, Deadly? When you've got the likes of Josh Dunkley, Lockie Neal, Hugh McCluggage, then you've got the Ashcroft boys, you've got Zorko. They've just got so many assets in their team that you can't shut everyone down.
And that's it. But at the same time, you've got to make a decision. You can't tag 7 blokes. I think personally it's going to be Zorko. Just Chincotta, since he's come back from injury, he's only really tagged half-backs, and he's sort of every single game he's going to a half-back, even games where you wouldn't expect him to go to anyone. You know, he tagged Caleb Daniel and McKercher in that North game, and yeah, I think it pretty well matches up for Zorko, and probably moves McGovern back into the back line.
Yep.
Their team's set up, I reckon.
I also found that McCluggage is not taggable. I know Richmond tried to tag him, and they couldn't tag him. I recall it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. Another team tried to tag him, and he went off. He had like 10 touches in the first quarter, so he's not really that taggable. McCluggage, he's actually decent. So
he is.
Yeah, I was going to pick him this year. I didn't pick him. I was so upset with myself. Next year, I think I'm going to have to start him. He is so good.
He's unreal. Absolutely spot on. Carlton is going to lose Brisbane for you lads, or do you think Carlton can pull off an upset here?
It's paying $1. It's paying $1.20. That is really good odds for the Lions. I would have taken $1.05 for Lions to win this one. So I think it's going to be a 50-point massacre again.
Yeah. Friday night, Gold Coast Suns versus Collingwood. Still side bottom. Mason Cox and Lockie Schultz are in at the moment. Lipinski managed, Mycheck managed, Will Parker omitted. Don't be surprised if you see some more outs for Collingwood. We can't say too much yet, but we're hearing little whispers that there might be some elder statesmen in and around the Collingwood team that may also be rested. David Swallow and Jared Witts, thank Christ he's back. Alex Sexton omitted and Ned Moyle omitted. Abs, you had Big Witsy. Did you end up trading him or did you hold him last week?
Last week he was rested. I mean, Gold Coast trying to play finals for the first time ever, and they rest their ruckman, and he's up against the Goldie. So, why would you rest him when you're trying to get a percentage? You're trying to win a game. So, I was under the impression maybe he's actually carrying an injury. That's why they've rested him. So, I actually got rid of him and brought in Marshall. At the time, at quarter time, I was regretting that move, but then Marshall picked up, so it was actually okay. I love Witts as a ruckman. He's a good tap ruckman. I mean, hit outs to advantage is very high. But I've got regrets now, maybe, but I should have kept him, maybe, but I would have copped a donut. So Witts has got a very good draw coming up as well. So if you need a ruckman, like a lot of people have got TDK and they're trying to find out who to replace TDK with. Witts is a good shout, but if Witts gets that managed minutes again, then maybe Witts not a good shout. So something to think about anyway. Yeah,
definitely. Deadly, how do you see the Suns going in this one? Collingwood 2 games clear on top, but up on the Gold Coast, they're a hard team to beat.
I think it's probably one of the better matchups against Collingwood, and they're still, resting a few guys and not letting a few guys back in. But I definitely think this could be one that Gold Coast can come away with up there. The matchup's not bad. There'll be some good footy in this game, I reckon. I don't hate it for either team, to be honest.
Yep,
it's going to be many tags running around.
It's going to be a very high-scoring SuperCoach game. This one I can feel because the fact that no one tags, both teams don't tag, so it's good for multis if you're into multis. It's good for SuperCoach. So I can see all the midfielders going nuts. So I'm trying to work out who the vice captain from this game. Actually, it's either going to be Anderson or it's going to be Dacos. I can't work out. I haven't tossed a coin yet, so I've got to find a coin to toss because I don't carry coins really anymore because I've got hard. So I've got to find a good coin to toss for this game.
Yeah, 100%. When you're looking at the likes of Noah Anderson, Nick Dacos, Matt Rowell, then you've got the ruck battle as well, Jared Witts versus Darcy Cameron. Darcy Cameron gets a lot of his points when he drops back as the loose man in defence and takes those intercept marks. As the SCODFATHER said, Jared Witts gets a lot of his points by hit-outs to advantage. But then you've got the likes of John Noble, who's been a little bit under the radar this year. Took Miller. Sam Flanders has been getting plenty of the pill, although hasn't been scoring that well SuperCoach-wise. Could be a toss-up, Deadly, between 4 or 5 that you could slap the VC on and feel fairly comfortable with in this game.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. I think personally, if I had Noah Anderson, he'd be the guy because there is potential that Dacos, at stoppages gets some attention, but I have no doubt that Noah Anderson will just be able to play his free-flowing footy against Collingwood. It's a tough matchup, but not tough 1v1 matchup, if that makes sense.
For sure. Abs, who do you think wins this game and why is it Gold Coast?
I actually think Collingwood win this game, and I think Collingwood at the moment they're just too skillful. They're very quick, and Gold Coast are playing the game that Collingwood are actually. The Gold Coast are trying to play a game style that Collingwood are actually playing. I don't think Gold Coast has actually perfected that game style yet, whereas Collingwood has. And they've got this very similar game style, and I can see Collingwood, because they've perfected it better, I can see them winning this game.
I do like Josh Dacos across half back for some touches as well. Lockie Bramble responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to Saturday's game, Marvel Stadium, Western Bulldogs versus Adelaide. Dolan and Davidson back in. DeRay has been omitted. Lockie McNeil has been omitted. For Adelaide, Cook, Malera, and Chase Jones, the forgotten man, is back. The Tassie lad, Brodie Smith, omitted. Josh Rochelle is out for the remainder of the home and away season, it would appear, with that knee injury. And Lockie Murphy, God, he was terrible last week. He is out. Deadly, at Marvel, heavily in favour of the Dogs, or does it help with Adelaide's big forward line being under the roof and weather not being a factor?
There's some cracking games this weekend, isn't there? Mm-hmm. This is another good matchup. I think the home advantage probably does it for me here with the Dogs. Once again, there's not going to be many tags flying about for either team. Maybe you see a Neil Bullen put some time into a Bailey Dale. Maybe Bond gets a little bit of attention, but besides that, it's going to be another just free-flowing, cracking game. Yeah.
Now, I want to take a little trip down memory lane, Abs, and it's not that long ago. It was January this year where you came out on Twitter, or not Twitter, on YouTube, sorry, and you said there is going to be one man that's going to be an absolute weapon this year. He plays for the Western Bulldogs. It's not Libba. It's not Bontempelli. It's Ed Richards. The last couple of weeks, he's been pretty ordinary, but my God, he's been good this year.
I was hoping that we don't talk about Ed Richards today because he was sacked from the Abs Magic team because I brought him in, and I was getting a lot of comments on Twitter saying that he's, as a weapon, he's brought the water pistol along. So it sort of it got attached to me because I was sort of feeling the same way. So I sort of sacked him, and I brought in Whitfield to replace him. So I sort of did a switch with positions. And do I regret that decision? I've made so many dumb choices this year, and that was probably one of my worst ones, sacking Ed Richards. And I don't even know why I made him the weapon, but it just clicked to me that the midfield, when he played in that midfield last year, with not many games in that midfield, but when he did play in there, because he copped an injury last year, he went nuts. I remember one game, he was on 105 at halftime. Before halftime, he was on 105. And I thought, this kid's a jet. And that's why I picked him as the weapon, and I should have stuck with it. But the year I picked Libba as the weapon, I didn't even pick him, and he became the weapon as well. So from now on, I've learned my lesson. If I say a player's a weapon, I'm just going to pick him. I'm just going to start him. But Richards, absolute jets.
Sometimes when you do as much research as you do yourself, you can almost, have too many people to choose from, and you can second guess yourself. And with the way that you deep dive into each player and you take requests at the start of the year, it's hard not to try and find value elsewhere. But I did want to shout out that you did nominate that this guy was going to take the league by storm, and boy, has he.
Yeah, but the worst part is I actually started him, and I had him for like 3 or 4 weeks, and he was getting tagged when I had him, but I didn't, even though I saw that, because Whitfield, he was at 590K at the time, and he was scoring 130s, and I didn't want to, he was going to go up in price, and I didn't want to lose Whitfield, and not many people owned him, so I thought I'd jump on Whitfield because Richards was a pod, and not many had him, so I thought maybe if I get Whitfield, I'll do better, but it didn't work out, so that was a big mistake.
That's okay. We can't all be perfect, my good man. Tim English, Riley O'Brien, that should be a 0-0 draw in the ruck. Bontempelli, hopefully back to his best this week. Don't really think Adelaide have got anyone to go with him, Deadly?
Nah, probably not. There's no one big enough.
No. Hey, Abs, can I interest you in another gun?
Yeah, tell me. Libba.
Ben Keys.
Yes.
I like Ben Keys. Okay, I do like Ben Keys. The only thing with Ben Keys is they need to win the game, because usually when they're winning, he's scoring goals, and he's assisting goals. So he needs a big output. He needs to be influential, especially in SuperCoach, because you get all these extra bonus points in close games, and that's when Ben Keys has been scoring a lot of points in these in his wins. But when he's down and they're not scoring well, it's a very tough position to score well on. Forward pocket, I like. Sometimes half forward, but it's usually in a forward pocket, and it's very, very difficult. So I even can't put him on multis. That's how scared I am of Ben Keys, because sometimes I just fear that he's not going to produce, especially against the Dogs. Maybe he can produce, but it's in Melbourne. It's a tough one.
It is. Deadly, does anyone go to Bailey Dale, or do you think Adelaide run Ben Keys through him and try and get attacking going the other way?
No, I do reckon Neil Bullen does put a bit of time into him, but besides that, there's not too much else going on in this game. And this game can finish about 110 to 109. Ben Keys kicks 8. Marcus Bontempelli has 6 touches subbed off.
Oh, I don't think so.
That'll be lovely.
Sam Darcy looks like he's about to take the competition by storm, and hopefully for those that brought him into their SuperCoach teams, he pops off this weekend, me being one of them. Who else is there? Jordan Dawson through the middle, one of the Brownlow favourites at the moment. He's been really good this year as well. Isaac Rankin bounced back last week with his 5 goals. But, Abs, before we move on, Daniel Curtin, he's going to be some player in the future, isn't he?
He's a jet, but last week he didn't touch the ball. I couldn't find him last week. I was trying to find where's Daniel Curtin, where'd he go, but I couldn't find him. And because I had him in my multi last week, and it didn't. Every time looking for Daniel Curtin, I wasn't sure if he was playing or not. But he's a jet. He's going to be a jet.
Absolutely. Western Bulldogs for me, lads.
I think the Dogs as well.
Adelaide.
Let's move on to the next game. This is going to be interesting. Giants versus the Cats. Giants usually match up pretty well against the Cats and beat them down at Alphabet Stadium earlier this year. Bit of a 0-0 draw, I guess, in the ruck. Briggs versus Stanley. Finn Callahan, though, Deadly. He's been amazing this year.
He's a gun. He's a genuine freak. JWS looks so different with him back into this team after that, 5-week hiatus with the injury. But having him back just makes their running carry so much better. And how many tackles are Tom Green and Tom Atkins going to have on each other?
Oh, this could be 15 tackles each this week.
45 minimum.
It's unreal. Abs. Bailey Smith, is he going to cop Bedford?
Well, the word on the street right now is that this is the latest news that I've heard on Twitter is that he is. So we'll see how that goes. But we were talking about Callahan before. I've never seen a player like Callahan, to be honest. Callahan, when I owned him, he get touches. He runs to defense. He gets it off Whitfield. He runs. He runs to the wing. He gets it. He runs to the. He is everywhere, Callahan. And when you look at his heat maps, I used to think he was playing half back, but he's actually playing in the midfield. But he just runs so much. He goes to the half back line to get more disposals. So Callahan, I used to own him until he got injured, and it actually broke my heart when he got injured because I love watching him, and not having him in my team is not the same anymore. So Callahan, absolute jet. But going back to Smith now, with Smith, I think the danger man is going to be Holmes. I think Holmes is going to go off. Okay. If they're going to tag Smith, Holmes goes off, although last week he didn't do much. But Holmes is the one I think that's going to go off. I think Callahan's going to go off. This is a good game for midfield, high scoring again for SuperCoach. Who else is here going to go off? Whitfield.
Lockie Ash.
Lockie Ash, yeah. Where's Whitfield going to play? They got him at half back. Hopefully he stays there. Ever since Callahan's been back, they've had Whitfield in that back line. So let's hope that he stays there.
I agree. Absolutely. 140 odd his break even is. So for those that don't have him, you could probably afford to wait a week. Then you can pick him up for high 400s next week. Deadly, no shitter deconing this week, SDK. Who goes to Jesse Hogan?
Probably is Jack Henry, to be honest. But it's going to be tough. Whoever they put on it might even be Connor O'Sullivan, to be honest. Whoever it is going to be, Hogan's locked in for at least a couple goals. I don't think Tom Stewart's the one that does go to him. I think it's one of Henry or O'Sullivan, to be honest.
Yep. He's hoping George Stevens gets another go too. I thought he was really good last week, Abs.
I wish he started the year and we picked him at the start of the year instead of the one that they gave us at the start of the year, which is not good. We paid 140K for Nevitt. So Stevens, what did he score? 90 points last week, 90 SuperCoach points for his first game. It was incredible. So it's too late to get him for most of us because we don't have trades left. So in my case, I don't have any trades left. So if I had, if I needed some rookies, I would have picked up George Stevens.
Yeah,
but yeah, he looks really good. But who's going to be their sub? If you look at that bench,
Jack Bowes,
Ollie Henry,
Headley, Ollie Henry, you reckon?
For sure.
Okay, I like your confidence.
No doubt in my mind.
And what about
Geelong fans are calling for Geelong fans are calling for Ollie Henry's head. They hate him.
Yeah, right. I hope it's the package. Abs.
Probably will be Springer.
Yeah,
I reckon.
I think so too.
GWS for me in that one. Oh, let's talk about a real game now, Abs. It's your mob, the Tigers, versus our mob, the Dons. Yeah, they'll be playing in front of all of probably 45 people in Melbourne on Saturday night. Trasai's in. Taj Houghton, I want to ask you about him in a sec, Abs. He's in. Tyler Young, he's back in as well. Jacob Kajitsky is in. Jaden Short, for those that have Sandbanks, that's warnings there. He's back in as well. Mason Redmond, Oscar Smart for his first game, and Elijah Sazicki's back. Out. Noah Bolter. It's not personal reasons. You've got a curfew, mate. You've got to stay at home.
Well, it's at the MCG at 7:35.
He's not getting home by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, true.
Sammy Lawler, injured. Unfortunately, he's probably done for the year. Alga, injured. Poor bloke. He looks like a good young kid as well. Ralph Smith, injured. Blight, omitted. Archie Perkins, about time he's out. Omitted. Jai Caldwell, injured. Jade Gresham, omitted. Abs, tell us about Taj Houghton and why this kid could be one of the best players in the AFL in 2 to 3 years' time.
I think he's already the best player in the AFL right now. Without playing a game, the kid's a jet. I watched his VFL game last week. I watched the highlights. I'm not going to lie and say I went and watched the game because I didn't, but I watched the highlights. His hands are so quick. I've never seen enough. He reminds me of a Zach Butters, a junior Zach Butters, but he's different. He's so smart. I'm not saying that Zach Butters is not smart, but for his age, this Houghton kid looks unbelievable. And I would have loved to have seen Houghton and Lawler together. It would have been so good, but it's not going to happen. I've already given him the Rising Star nomination for round 18. He's going to get it. Best on ground. I think he's going to outscore all the Essendon players on his own, SuperCoach points-wise. I'm expecting a 110 from Taj Houghton. And
wow.
If they play him in the midfield, all right? If he plays in their midfield, Essendon's not going to know what happened. They're going to see this boy. He's hand passing all over. His hand passing, I mean, excuse the word deadly, all right? But his hand passing is deadly, okay? He's unbelievable. So wait till you see him. If a lot of people wouldn't have seen him in action yet, so wait till you see this kid hand pass. The minute the ball arrives, before it even gets to him, the ball's hand passed off to someone else. So he's very quick.
The fact that you've used Deadly's name in describing Taj Houghton, who could potentially be one of Deadly's favourite rookies this year, he's not going to stop smiling for a month, Abs.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to stop smiling. Talking about smiling, wish Smiley was playing as well. So Smiley's not playing, but if Smiley was in this team with Taj Houghton and Lolo together, we'd be premiership favourites, Richmond, right now. But unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet. So maybe next year.
Next year. Deadly, talk to us about. Well, you're a Taj Houghton fan. You grabbed him in our keeper league as soon as you could, didn't you?
Yeah. Well,
yep.
I think I tried to, but I think he was taken pretty well quickly.
Oh no, I know that he was taken. I'm just trying to rub it in, mate. So Jaden Short, what's going to happen with Banks? Because I've really liked Banks's game this year and the way that he's been running and creating off half back. And when you look at the next premiership tilt that Richmond are going to have, Banks is more likely to be playing that role, than what Short is.
This is what Hurls was calling for, a game with Banks and Short, just to see how it goes for Banks next year. I'm interested to see how it'll go. Have both of them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Abs?
I think Banks is going to take the kick in still, not Short. I can see Banks being the main distributor. Banks is a much better kick than Short. Short goes for a lot of tough kicks, which don't pay off, whereas Banks goes for a lot of kicks that are more along the wings, I suppose. So they're more safer and they work. So I like Banks better. And Short, I can see him more of a attacking defender. Banks more in the defensive defender. So I can see Short maybe even in the forward line going for goals. Off a mark at the half forward line, then Short running straight past and go for a goal, where Banks doesn't do a lot of that. So I can say Short more on the attacking side, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. For Essendon, good to see Redmond back. Tzatziki is back as well. Oscar Smart, Leachfield Gunbow legend. I know the in-laws and the family and friends in Leachfield Gunbow area are very excited to see the fourth local lad from up there debut or play in the last 12 months. So it's a very small area, Ab. So Leachfield and Gunbow, there's 220 people that live in Gunbow, which is about half an hour northwest of Echuca. And then Leachville is probably the same size as that, another 10 minutes further west to that as well. So to have 4 AFL kids come out of that system in the last couple of years, and then you can add Josh Tracy to that as well, it's unreal.
It's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. But one of the outs is Jai Caldwell, and that has hurt me so bad. I've lost one of my star players. Actually, I can't remember how much I got him for, but I replaced him with Libba, so worked that out. So I know I picked up Jai Caldwell really cheap, but he's almost the same price as Libba now. So that's actually worked out not too bad.
Why do you think Richmond's going to win, Abs?
Taj Houghton is going to go nuts, and no one's going to see what's happened with Taj Houghton. They're not going to see him. He's the invisible man with his hand passes. So I can't wait to see Taj Houghton in action.
You're making me very excited to see this man play. So one of my good friends, and Deepole, how are you? I know he's an avid watcher and listener of the show, Dean Polo. So I was at his first game, Dreamtime at the J, many years ago, Abs. And we grew up together playing. Such a good fella. So we grew up playing basketball and footy together, and still remember before the game, he was quite nervous, eating sushi, all that sort of stuff. He went to the game, and then to pull out 27 odd touches and kick 3 goals, he won himself one of those big TVs. He got the player of the game that day, and if Houghton does anything like Deepole did 20 years ago that day, bloody unreal.
Well, that was probably Dean Polo's best ever game as well. And to have it on your first game, it's unheard of. So it was a great effort by Dean Polo back then.
Absolutely.
I think he ended up going to St Kilda later on. So
he did.
We sort of lost Dean Polo later on. But I loved watching him as well. He's a good kick too, Dean Polo. Really good kick of the ball.
He's a good lad residing up in Albury with his wife and kids now. G'day, Deepole again. I think Essendon win this, but purely because Richmond want a better draft pick. Deadly?
Yeah, I'm going Richmond. Because then you can't be sad if Essendon win. But I'd rather the higher draft pick at this rate.
Yeah.
So who does Deadly barrack for?
Essendon.
Okay, so you've got 2 bombers. 2 bombers and 1 tiger here. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why? I'm on the show today because it was 2 against 1? Is that what it is?
This is the reason behind Panic Room, mate. We're trying to get you covered.
Hurls is a bomber as well, isn't he? Where's Hurls today?
Yep.
Yeah, we've got 3 bombers on this show.
Yep. Yeah, we just got to try and even it out a little bit. Let's go to Freo versus Hawthorn at Optus Stadium. And this is probably the one where I think, if anything, it'll be an upset. And I think Freo will get the job done over the Hawks. Switter is back. Squiddy's man. Oscar McDonald is back as well. Neil Erasmus is out. Alex Pearce is out. Cal Shadir, the only Cal Shadir or only Calsha that's ever played AFL footy, is back in. And Finn McGuinness is back as well. That's interesting. Max Ramsden omitted along with the Seaman, Seamus Mitchell. With Finn McGuinness coming back in, Abs, I want to ask you, he's known as being a tagger, even though he hasn't tagged much this year. Do you think he goes to Brayshaw or Sarong?
It's going to be Sarong. It's going to be Brayshaw runs a bit more, so Sarong's a bit easier to tag. So I think Sarong is the one. And plus, Sarong's the inside bull, so he's going to get Sarong. I can see it. And it's going to be bad news for Sarong owners, unfortunately.
Damn. And that's me. Luke Jackson versus Lloyd Meek. That's a tasty matchup in the ruck, Deadly.
Yeah. It's probably one where Jackson has the upper hand, Supercoach wise, for sure. It's not like a game like last week where he's going to get dominated by Brody Grundy. It makes us a slightly easier ruck matchup, but it's still hard to what he's had to do. But yeah, if you're a Jackson owner, I'd definitely be happy with the matchup this week.
Yep.
Yeah, Meek did very well last week against Sherry. Meek has actually impressed me a lot. I don't think he's a very tall ruckman, but he was able to win hitouts comfortably last week against Sherry. So when Meek plays against Sean Darcy, which is going to be very interesting, Darcy not having the strength that he used to have, so I think Meek's going to do well. Because Jackson, even though he's in the ruck there, I don't know how much time he's going to have in that ruck, so they're probably going to use him more forward.
Lloyd Meek, that's right. Now, Abs, we got a special request, from the man himself, Kerry O'Keefe, Skull. So he's requesting if you can give us a Massimo D'Ambrosio.
I've actually never tried this one, and my ears are sort of, I can't hear myself when I say this, but because my ear's blocked. I actually haven't told the viewers, but I have a blocked ear right now, so I got water into it. So the water pistol that my weapons had, they fired it into my ears. So unfortunately, I can't hear off my left ear. So I'm going to say Massimo D'Ambrosios.
That's a lot more Italian than what this Italian kid could ever do. Love it. Luke Ryan, Deadly. Do you think Hawthorn try and go through him? Because he's sort of gone back to his playing off his man, just getting those cheap kicks deep in defence again. Or how do you see this working out?
No, Pearce, he's going to have to play more lockdown. Simple as that.
Ouch.
Yep.
Hate that. Oh, I love it as a non-owner, but hate that for him. Jordan Clark, one to watch here as well. Brayshaw, Sarong, really good as well. Hawthorn, good Supercoach scorers for Hawthorn are like, what's it like? Oh, I got no idea. But there's no consistency, is there?
I don't think no one owns any Hawthorn players in Supercoach except for Lloyd Meek and possibly Joe Newcomb. And Joe Newcomb is very up and down. So he'd be the most frustrated. I don't own him, never owned him. I was going to own him this year. I was thinking about it. I was actually going to call him the weapon. If I did, maybe he would have done okay, but I didn't. So, yeah, I feel sorry for Joe Newcomb owners. The frustration they must go through every week.
Yeah. One more before we do move on from this round, Abs. Shea Bolton. So people picked him up pretty cheap and he scored, I think it was 400s in 5 games and looked really good. But it's fair to say he shit the bed in the last month and he's been really inconsistent.
Do you know what I noticed last week of Shea Bolton? Last week, besides smashing my guitar every week, I had to smash it again last week because of Shea Bolton. Last week in the second half, they switched him to the midfield and he actually looked decent in that midfield. He was actually one of the only ones to shine. I think they're going to play more midfield this week. I'm hoping. I'm going to have a word to the coach, of course, to LJ. But I think if Shea Bolton gets in that midfield, it looked like he was one of their main midfielders once he went in there.
Mhm.
I think things going to change. I'm hoping for a change with Shy Bolton again. Back to 120s, Shy Bolton.
Please.
Yep.
Sunday, Melbourne versus North Melbourne. A few big outs in this game. Harry Sharp is not one of them. Jack Henderson, the myth, the legend, is back. Blake Howes, Caleb Windsor,
He
Tom
exists.
Campbell. He does exist. But for North, Luke Parker in. The Fish, he's in. Charlie Comben is in. Jack Darling, he's back. Callum Coleman-Jones, Richmond legend, Abs, he's back. But LDU out. And Nick Larkey is out injured. That hurts.
Who goes forward? Who's their full forward now?
Callum Coleman-Jones, probably.
Nah, Jack Darling.
Yeah, it will be Jack Darling. Yeah, so I don't think Jones. I can't even say it. Coleman Jones. I don't think he's going to play.
No, I don't think he comes in.
You don't think so?
Parker and Darling for LDU and Larkey.
But this is good news for I don't own him myself, but all the Chisels owners. Last week we saw once they lost LDU, the Chisels went back in the middle, and because he was playing forward in the first quarter, and then the minute they lost LDU, Chisels went into the middle. So good news for the owners, but it's only for 1 week because LDU's back next week. So at least they'll get to enjoy a 110, a 120 out of Chisels this week. I think he should get it.
I hope so. Deadly, it's the big dogs in the middle. Maxwell Gawn versus the Spectrum. Tristan Cherry. How do you see this one playing out?
I never know. I never know how this one's going to play out between them because, you know, you look at history and it's so topsy-turvy with the both of them. You look at Gawn's last three, 67, 114, 80, and then Cherry's last three, 136, 111, 90. So one's going big, one's going average. Take your pick. I have no clue.
The interesting thing with this one, Gawn and Sherry's, last week, Gawn went off the field, looked injured, looked like a season-ending injury. Sherry fainted in the middle of the pitch. He looked injured. So they're both going to play. They both look injured. So it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Definitely is.
And another thing to note there is they got Colby McCurch at half forward on the team sheets. You know,
they've named him at half forward every game.
Yeah, he always gets named half forward. Yeah. That's fine.
All right, it's all right then.
Yeah. So McKercher, Cheezels, Cherry for those that have him, Caleb Daniel. Even Caleb Daniel, Abs, is at centre half back. The 4'11" midget with the helmet is at centre half back.
I saw last week he was up against who was it? It was up against the Bulldogs full forward and contesting for a mark. It was like the Laurel Hardy
Darcy,
show.
That's right.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Cue the Benny Hill music. We're going to try and get through these next two games quite quickly because we want you guys to get your Supercoach team sorted before tonight starts. St Kilda versus Swans. Darcy Wilson's been omitted. I don't know why. I'd really like the kid. Jimmy Webster, don't really have too much time for him, though. Liam O'Connell. Boxall is back, apparently. Max Heath, the big ruckman. That's probably just Boyd emergency type areas there. Ryan Burns and Liam Stocker. Laddams, Francis, Warner, Bice, Philsman, Florent are all five that could come into that team. Papley and Armati are both injured. I was hoping to see Jesse Totoli, Deadly, but he's not there.
Yeah, I think they'll probably just use him as a next year option now at this stage. Looking at the ins, it's probably going to be Stocker and probably Burns, annoyingly. I think what they're doing with Darcy Wilson is they're trying to find a role for him because obviously he's been decent on the wing out there. They want to integrate him in the midfield, build his body up a bit more when he's a little bit older. But as of right now, they just need to find another role for him, which I think is what they're trying to do in the VFL. Just give him some more midfield time. He'll go and play, get a lot of CBAs in the VFL just to get prepared for the future, I suppose.
Yeah. Abs, how do you see the Rowan Marshall versus Brodie Grundy matchup here?
It's going to be a good one. This is probably both of them play very similar style too. Both of them score points around the ground, so this is going to be a cracker. I think Grundy wins the hitouts for his strength, unless Marshall finds a way to overcome it. Because Marshall relies on strength as well to win hitouts, but he's not as strong as Grundy. So I think Marshall's going to have to win a lot of points around the ground. So this is probably Marshall's toughest matchup for the remaining 6 weeks or 7 weeks.
Plenty of
easy.
Yeah, that's right. Plenty of juicy Supercoach options here in this one, Deadly, as well. Jack McRae, Isaac Heaney, Errol Goulden, who I think, anyway, Windhager will probably go to. Anyone else that you're looking at in this game? Callum Mills, Supercoach relevant?
I'm not calling Chad Warner Supercoach relevant either.
You're not?
I rate that. Alex Tara is more Supercoach relevant than Chad Warner.
Joss.
Speaking of which, Braden Campbell goes straight to Nas. You heard it here first.
Wow.
Yeah,
Confident.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, that'll be good.
And
because,
then James Jordan will just play half forward, I suppose.
He doesn't go to anyone?
I think Campbell's the Nas guy. Well, he probably spends a bit of time on Sinclair, Jordan. They'll probably just nullify the both of them, but I think the big one's going to be Campbell and Nas.
I'm going to move on to the next game, lads, because I want to get some questions in before we finish up. Port Adelaide versus West Coast. Will Lorenz, Manny Liddy, Ollie Lord, Rory Atkins, the Rat, Logan Evans, and Ivan Saldo have been named as into the squad. Dante Vicentini, injured. Sam Powell-Pepper, injured. Asava Radigalia, injured. Tom Cole, Noah Long, Rhett Bazzo, Matt Owies, your boy Deadly. Tom Gross is in the squad, and Tyrell Dewar. Sandy Brock omitted. Bo Allen has been omitted for those that have him. He instantly becomes that loop that you may need. And Tim Kelly has been omitted.
That's a shock. I've got a full bench. I've got a full bench this week. I can't cover there. I've got a full bench. My midfield bench is full. Yeah, that's unbelievable. If they all play.
Abs, are you a fan of Miles Bergman and the way he goes about it?
I am. I really like the kid. They should have played in midfield more often. The only thing with Bergman is he's actually possibly killed the Horny Man. The Horny Man has gone missing since Bergman's got in the middle. So good news for non-owners, I suppose. But has Bergman signed a contract? Has he extended his contract?
2 years.
Yes, he has done that. Okay, so yeah, I might even pick him next year. He is a Jet. I really like him. The only problem is with Bergman is I never know what role he's got. It's either a half back or it's midfield. So if I knew he was going to be a full-time midfielder, I'd be more comfortable owning him.
How's his last 6 weeks of footy just before we move off him? Actually, since round 9, he's gone 104, then 66, 104, 128, 117, 47 when he was Crook, 121 and 112.
Yeah,
unreal.
And a lot of those tagging roles as well. So he's been tagging a lot. So I don't know. This year, taggers seem to score well. So probably getting a lot of tackles and very good.
Connor Rosé, one to watch out for here as well. But Zach Butters, he could score 300 here, Deadly.
Captain him. Throw the key away.
Yeah.
End of story.
Could go absolutely ballistic here.
I'm going to listen to Deadly on this one. I've got the key now. I'm going to go outside and throw it out. I'm going to throw it away.
Go bury it. Go bury it in the backyard. Go do something with it because you're not going to need the key.
But it's raining outside, so I don't want to get the shovel out right now. So I'm just going to throw it.
That sounds fair enough.
That's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do us for the teams for this round. What we're going to do now is we're going to get cracking into some of your questions and comments before this round starts. So it's question time.
It's question time. Let's answer your questions for the week ahead.
Let's get into them. Someone say KFC, just calm it down. Can you give it to the crew for us, Abs?
Just calm it down.
One of the best catchphrases on YouTube. The SCODFATHER is here. Yes, he is. James P. Glad Bo Allen is dropped so I can use him as a loop down back. Very good thinking. Jenna Talia says, thumbs up, everyone. That's a very good surname, Jenna. Peter Wern, Deadly, more comebacks than John Farnham.
I might be too young to understand that.
Yep. Scud TV, what a treat. Abs is the man. That he is. Scud. James P, tough week for tipping. Should make some bold Supercoach scoring, I hope. Jasper, SCODFATHER, for the purposes of the community, could you tell the people to not panic? Oh, you just did it, I guess. Yeah.
I don't want people to stay calm this week.
Engel, royalty. Absolutely it is. Hurls, awesome to see the legend SCODFATHER panicking with us here at Insight. Sean Sean Strom. Love to hear the Skodfather's thoughts on Caldwell replacement. Bontempelli, Goulden, Libba, Richards, Lockie Ash, Dawson, or Tuk Tuk. I'll pick up Whitfield in a week or two. He still has 4 trades left for his finals.
If you get Callaghan, I'd go Callaghan.
Heard it is, Strommy.
Without looking at the draw, but I haven't seen a draw, so I'm not sure how good the draw is. But
It
I've
is
gone Libba
one of the
myself.
best draws for midfielders GWS have.
Is it? I'd definitely go Callaghan then.
The Skull. I've missed Deadly and his moustache. I'm emotional.
Lying is a sin.
Abs has an accent like every Carlton supporter I know.
Except I'm not a Carlton supporter, but doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
And I'm here for it. Have we asked the Skodfather where the best pasta is in Melbourne?
Actually, the best pasta, if you go to Coles, they've got this little Italian stuff they sell, and it's got the tortellini, okay? You just got to put the tortellini for 5 minutes, and boiled water is a taste of very nice, okay? You love it.
Abs, when I lived in Melbourne many years ago, I used to go to Faster Pasta. Is that still around?
I haven't heard of. I don't do much. I don't go out much restaurants, to be honest. I actually cook myself. I'm a good cook, so I go on YouTube and I learn how to cook a lot of meals, and I sort of cook myself. So I don't actually eat out much.
We've asked that one. Damo from the Footy Mailbag, the Skodfather. I can't calm it down. Very nice to see you, Damo. The Great Graven. Hey guys, all the legends together. Can't go wrong. Absolutely. Scud TV. Skodfather, thank you for suggesting Heaney a couple of weeks back. He's been a solid point of difference.
It's been massive.
What's the under-over Deadly you're taking on a VC with Butters against West Coast?
Christ, that's a good one. I always stick strong to 125, but it might get slightly up to 130.
Yeah,
if
I'm
it's
probably
130,
I'm probably going to nudge that up to a 140. I think if your VC scores 140, you take it this week because, Butters could do some serious damage against that very inexperienced West Coast midfield.
If you VC Butters, what game is it coming up after that? So
they're the last game. So your VC, whoever you nominate before that.
Okay.
Yeah. Jasper, Abs, can you tell Deadly how to grow facial hair correctly?
Yeah, it's actually no, he's doing all right. He's just under the nose is a bit of bum fluff there, but it's not too bad.
Your Massimo D'Ambrosio pronunciation is pole strengthening. Abs, apparently. There you go.
There you go. It's the Massimo D'Ambrosios.
That's it. Iconic. Love the content. Whitfield or Ash as Caldwell replacement?
Well, we know what Ash's role is. We know what Whitfield can score if he has that role. So I'd go Whitfield because I know that the run home now for Whitfield is going to be a good run home. So probably Whitfield. I'd go Whitfield. Especially at his price.
We've got Tim, Scorched Earth from New Zealand here, Abs. Horse, can you please ask the legend Abs to give his wife a shout out? His missus is listening.
So what's
we just call her Mrs. Scorched Earth. Yeah.
The Mrs. Scorched Earth. If you're listening, just come down, okay? Just come down.
Oh, there you go. Poulter for Western Bulldogs, and Hobbs will be sub for Essendon.
Is that what he reckons? Is it?
There you go.
That's breaking news.
Breaking news. So use that information as you will. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do us for tonight. But before we go, Abs, you're an absolute legend of the SuperCoach community. And even though this year hasn't gone the way that you would like it after the amount of top 10, top 100 finishes that you've had previously, the people, not just here on Insight, but the people in the whole YouTube, Twitter community love what you do. And we're stoked to hear that you're going to hang around and continue to do content. So on behalf of myself and Deadly, it's bloody awesome to hear that you're hanging around. But, mate, it's been a pleasure having you here on Insight.
It's always a pleasure to come on, and thank you for those kind words. And actually, Deadly's mo, actually, I'm looking at it now. I'm having a good close look at it. Actually, it reminds me of Dipper. It's got that Dipper mo going in there. So
that's the best compliment I've received on this.
No.
Deadly can do a bit of a curly and sort of curl it towards the edges of the end there. We're going to have a bit of a Dipper going.
You don't know what you've just started here, Abs. He's going to pull that for forever. Just call me Dipper. Deadly, where can the people at home find you, my good man?
Where is it? I haven't done this in a while. Right there on X, Instagram, all the fun stuff. Come talk to me in the Patreon. That's about it, really. I don't do much else.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do us for tonight. Remember, it is okay not to be okay, and it's not weak to speak. So if you've got those dark thoughts running through your head, if you are struggling at home, if you're having a tough time of it, go for a walk, write them down on a piece of paper, call a friend, message a friend, message us. Our inboxes are always open. My phone's always on, because I'd rather spend 15 minutes talking to you and getting you through that hard time than having to just remember you by memories. So remember, it is okay not to be okay, and it's not weak to speak. And as my good friend down below says, and I am going to steal your catchphrase, Abs.
No. Here we go.
It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, that's us for Insight. Hopefully every one of you see green arrows this round. We'll catch you Sunday night. Arrivederci.